Hi there, it's Denise again. So I am back this time on the second part of our three-part series in the Global Health Awareness Days in October. Last last session, I talked about breast cancer health awareness, and today we're going to be talking about um, the International Elders Day. So I believe this is actually October 1st. And, Hong Kong does have an aging population. Aging well in general should be on on the top of our list so that we're not a burden to our family, we're not a burden to others, but also that we can just, live a more full life and we're not. I see, unfortunately, a lot of the elderly that are, we might be living longer, but we're on a lot of medication. And so, um, yeah, this is something that's also, an important topic. And so let me just share my screen and we can talk about International Day of Older Persons, which is on October 1st. So the Hong Kong University did a study and they said that in Hong Kong, 2024, this year, the city will officially be a super aged society, meaning more than 21% of people are aged over 65. So I'm sure a lot of you are dealing with aging parents. It's not easy. They have their own set ways. And it is difficult, right? Aging is difficult. There's a lot of aches and pains. There's a change of um, the mental. There's a lot of more restrictions, and that doesn't have to be. But the reality is that age does take a toll. And why do I say that it doesn't have to be? Is because if we can earlier on make sure we're eating well, we're detoxifying, we're exercising. Exercise, by the way, is probably, I'd say, priority um, in aging well. And so, I am a nutritionist, but I definitely don't just talk about food. It's really all about the entire lifestyle. So, as people age, their nutritional needs change. There are various factors such as like reduced appetite, changes in metabolism. I'm sure we've all been there and understand that and maybe struggle with that a bit. There's chronic diseases, increased medication use or medication use. And so this all increases the risk of nutrient deficiencies. And this is what I'm going to be talking about today is not predominantly nutrient deficiencies versus, not the lifestyle bit, although our food is a part of our lifestyle. So there are things like, vitamin D, calcium, the B vitamins, and particularly B12 and folate, fiber, iron, omega-3 fatty acids that are I see particularly more in need of in the elderly. Um, Something like a B12 and folate, it's B12 is made in our gut microbiome, and over time, our gut through just the environment, the foods we eat is not as healthy in particular. So that's why probiotics are really important. But if it's not making enough of this B vitamin, then we do need to supplement with it. So low B12 um, values are something that I do see in the elderly patients. And so you could test for it. You could eat more. Um, there's a lot of B12 in in meats in particular, but if not, there's some legumes and beans that have some B vitamins in there. Liver in particular is really good. Fiber is also really important. I think in general, the elderly maybe don't eat enough. So they might be lacking in fiber, but fiber is really important for our digestive health, to control our blood sugar levels, reducing cholesterol, and so on. And so, we do really need to encourage, well, in general, we all need to be encouraged to eat more fruits and vegetables and whole grains. We're not villainizing grains, but we need to be eating whole grains. And then something, like a calcium, particularly in women, um, it is important for maintaining bone health, muscle function, our nerve signaling, and also blood clotting as well. So enough sufficient calcium. We don't want to just be taking a calcium supplement or even taking a calcium supplement if you're not deficient. But again, going back to the food, green leafy vegetables, tons of calcium in there, even some nuts and seeds, dairy products. And remember, if we are taking calcium, to balance that off with the other important nutrients like magnesium and vitamin D, so you don't have a calcification in your blood vessels. So yeah, calcium is also important. And then we have D3, which again is crucial for bone health and immune function. A lot of the elderly are not outside as much. They're maybe indoors more, so there's less exposure to sunlight. So we want to maybe monitor our D3 levels and potentially take a, a supplement to help with that, because the vitamin D deficiency can lead to things like osteoporosis, and we know that it just takes one fall to really affect the elderly, the our parents, for example, in a big way. So today I want to actually focus on two supplements, which is the krill oil and the probiotics. Now you'll see that I didn't list probiotics here. It's something, I feel like all the other iron, fiber, B12, folate, vitamin D3, calcium, you could get it in a good diet. D3 maybe a little bit difficult. You might need to rely on a supplement for that. But diet-wise, it's easier to get that. And the reason why I actually am emphasizing probiotics is because we need that good bacteria to absorb the nutrients that we're taking. I mentioned at the beginning of the video that a healthy gut microbiome would be able to produce enough B12. And the problem with a lot of the elderly is that their microbiome is not healthy, and so they end up becoming deficient in B12. So instead of taking straight a B12 supplement, we could actually just enhance our microbiome and have enough fiber, more fiber, so we get the prebiotic in there. So this is, I'd say, a nice basic supplement that any elderly can take and should take. And so this has 7 specific strains, more for adults over 55 years old. It doesn't mean that if you're not over 55, you can't take it. I actually like to switch around my supplement, my probiotics, just to make sure that I'm getting a variety of strains. And then there are a guaranteed 25 billion CFUs at expiry. So this is one of the few probiotic supplements out there that have that guarantee at expiry. And this one does need to be refrigerated. And then moving on to omega-3 krill oil. I like this omega-3 oil because it does have that added antioxidant, the astaxanthin, and also the phospholipids and choline, which is really, really important for the heart and the brain. So omega-3 fatty acids is a essential fatty acid, meaning that our bodies cannot produce them. We have to get them from our food sources. And if, appetite has decreased, we're not eating enough, even like quantity wise, we wouldn't be getting enough of this really important nutrient, which is really important for our brain health in particular, and also the eyes. So as we age, we see a deterioration, maybe in memory, cognitive function, but also the eyes. And so to be able to have this really important nutrient is important. But what I want to say is that omega-3, I mention this all the time, is that omega-3 is very sensitive to heat, like oxygen. It's very easily oxidized. And there are a lot of fish oil companies that have been tested, even in Hong Kong. You can read up the consumer reports on them, that they have shown to have oxidated oils. And so that is even worse than not taking a supplement when you are taking oxidated, rancid oils. So for omega-3 supplements, we have to be extremely careful. Unfortunately, I don't have that checklist for you. I wish that, manufacturing and even just this whole supplement industry or food industry can be more transparent, but it is what it is right now anyways. But I have done the research on certain supplements. This is one of the omega-3 supplements that I am confident in. They do test, for the mercury. They're sustainable. They have that, also that added astaxanthin to help with the oxidation. And krill oil, is it's very, very small. Krill is very small. And so you don't get as much of the heavy metals or even the PCBs in there, as opposed to something like salmon, like a bigger fish. So this is why I like to choose krill. And that's why also, for this krill in particular, it has that measured EPA and DHA in there. And so these are the two supplements that I'd say, two basic supplements that every elderly can include in their in their lifestyle. And yeah, I do hope that this is helpful in your care for your parents or the elderly, but also care for your body. Because at the end of the day, we don't want to put that burden on our kids. We want to be able to be around our kids for longer. Sorry, those are my dogs barking. And yeah, so it's really about, nutritional needs, but also again, lifestyle. And I just want to highlight that fitness, doing exercise every day is amazing for the health of our bodies.